So, you've decided to become a manipulator. Huh. After watching, I don't know, a couple of TV shows and anime, you figured that a cold stare and a few clever phrases are enough to start controlling people, right? But in the end, you just became a social outcast and your parents disowned you. Ouch. But seriously though, in this video, I'll break down 7 levels of manipulation and how they are actually used in real life. Level 1. Flattery. The point here is to shower a person with compliments and make them feel special, like you tell your partner how unique they are and that you simply can't live without them. Oh, please. The difficulty? Very easy. Honestly, almost everyone has used this at some point in their lives, which is exactly why I put it at level 1. Level 2. Guilt tripping. In short, you force the victim into a state of guilt to gain an advantage. It exploits conscience, empathy, and social norms. You know, the whole, good people don't act this way routine. For example, after everything I've done for you, you can't even help me? Or, if you leave, I don't know what will happen to me. Why this level? Well, it already requires some understanding of the victim's weak spots, but it's still relatively straightforward. Level 3. Silent treatment. This is completely, or partially, ignoring a person as a form of punishment. The victim starts trying to earn your attention back. For example, after a conflict, a person ignores messages and refuses to speak for days, until the victim starts apologizing and trying to fix things. Why is it medium difficulty? Because it requires emotional endurance from the manipulator. You can't break character and reach out first. Level 4. Gaslighting. Difficulty. Medium to high. This is the systematic distortion of the victim's reality. The person is forced to doubt their own memory, perception, and even their sanity. How does it work? Constant denial of facts, plus the manipulator's absolute confidence, and sometimes bringing in third parties, like, oh, everyone thinks so. Examples? I never said that. You're making things up again. Or, ugh, you have memory problems, you already forgot. Fun fact, this term actually comes from a play about gaslights, where a husband kept dimming the lights in the house and convinced his wife it wasn't happening. It's a very trendy manipulation tactic today, and man, it can severely impact the victim's self-esteem. You have to keep previous versions of events in your head, not get confused, and look absolutely confident. Over time, it is highly destructive. Level 5. Triangulation. Difficulty is high. This means involving a third party, real or imaginary, to create jealousy, competition, or to justify one's behavior. The victim starts competing for the manipulator's attention or feels like they just aren't like the others. For example, wow, my ex never made a scene over such nonsense, or constantly mentioning a friend who is allowed to do anything. Why is it high? It requires the ability to manage multiple relationships or storylines simultaneously, all while maintaining believability. Level 6. Love bombing. Difficulty, high. In the initial stage, there is an ultra-intensive display of love, attention, gifts, and idealization. But then comes a sudden cooling off. It quickly creates a very strong emotional dependence. The victim gets hooked on this level of attention. For example, in the first weeks or months, daily messages, compliments, gifts, and talks about destiny. Then, sudden coldness and harsh criticism. You need to be able to quickly and convincingly play the role of the ideal person, and then precisely control the transition to the next phase. And finally, Level 7. Intermittent reinforcement plus the idealization devaluation cycle. Difficulty, very high. This is the hardest one. This is the most professional and destructive tactic. The manipulator irregularly alternates between good and bad treatment, just like a slot machine. The victim is constantly in a state of waiting for a reward. How does it work? Well, the victim's brain releases dopamine in anticipation of the rare good periods. This creates a powerful trauma bond. The person can no longer just walk away. They are stuck, hoping that things will be good again soon. Imagine this: a week of perfect treatment, then harsh criticism and devaluation, then a few days of coldness, then a small positive again, and the cycle repeats. Why is it the hardest? Because it requires an excellent understanding of behavioral psychology, precise timing, long-term planning, and the ability to keep a person in this cycle for months or even years. This is essentially a professional level of manipulation. Phew. So you don't fall victim to these attacks yourself. I'll give you a small checklist to keep in mind. First, keep a record, even short notes on your phone. This is the absolute best antidote against gaslighting. Second, trust your feelings and your memory, even if you are being told otherwise. Third, communicate with people outside of the manipulator's bubble. Fourth, set clear boundaries and see how they react to them. And lastly, if you've been exposed to this for a long time, please consult a psychologist who specializes in abusive relationships and trauma. Thank you so much for watching. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.